In the headlines, gunmen kill 4 policemen, set vehicles ablaze in Imo police station attack. Flood destroys houses in Potiskum, Yobe State, affects Monarch's Palace. Taraba female pilgrim declared missing in Saudi Arabia. And on the foreign scene, 12 Poles killed, 31 injured in Croatia bus crash. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. We begin with security, where gunmen on Friday night attacked Agua Divisional Police Headquarters in Oguta local government area of Imo State, killing 4 policemen. The gunmen also razed part of the divisional property, including vehicles. Among the victims were 2 male officers and their 2 female colleagues. According to a source, one of the slain officers was only 2 weeks old in the force. The gunmen on the same night also invaded the house of a resident identified only as Ejike, shot him and his wife before fleeing. Ejike died on the spot. Our correspondent gathered that the gunmen struck around 10 p.m. to 11 in a truck and 2 Sienna cars. The Imo State Police Command, while confirming the incident, blamed the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, for the attack. Ajaokuta local government area of Kogi State has come under serious threat again as gunmen suspected to be bandits on Friday and waylaid a vehicle conveying workers of West Africa Ceramic Company, Ajaokuta, killing 6 of them and abducting 3 others. The workers include 2 Indian expatriates, 2 of their police escorts, and 2 drivers of the company who are said to have been ambushed while closing from work. The Kogi State Police Command, through its spokesman Willie Aya, who confirmed the incident in a statement, also said the Commissioner of Police, Edward Eguka, had visited the scene for an on-the-spot assessment and equally ordered the deployment of additional mobile force and counter-terrorism unit to the scene. Also reacting on the incident, the state government, through its Commissioner of Information, Kingsley Fanwo, assured of government's commitment to secure lives and property and urged citizens not to entertain any fear. Now, despite the restrictions on the use of motorcycles after 10 p.m. by the Katsina State government as part of efforts curbing the worsening insecurity, bandits have intensified attacks in areas close to the city capital. Jamil Babai reports on the recent attack in the Ansani area where 2 people were killed and 8 people abducted. His report.
With empty and deserted streets, Ansani community is grieving. This community is just a few minutes away from the Katsina city and 5 minutes drive from Babaraga Hospital. Consumed by inconsolable grief, Muhammad Tukur, the community village head, recounts how bandits killed his son.
In
the afternoon, when he was about to leave for Bakiawa at around 11 a.m. in the morning, I was in my room when I heard the gunshot. A teenage girl came in shouting, "They have taken our father." I came out and saw people crying. They have shot him. I did not see them, but witnesses told me they were 2 in number. I felt really bad. Later, they returned him back to me. I told them to take him inside. Despite intensifying security operations and tightening security, bandits have remained defiant as they continue to launch one attack after another. On arrival at the community, returning women are looking pale and exhausted, while their husbands are grieving amidst hunger. Nobody slept here yesterday. We want to eat food, but because our women did not sleep in the village, we are hungry now. All of us here are hungry.
The
bandit attacked Dansanne 3 times within a week. During the Wednesday attack, which is the latest, the attackers were brutal in the early morning raid. They came to his shop while trying to attend to a customer. On arrival, they collected his phone and shot in the air and later shot him. The relative peace enjoyed by areas close to Katsina are no longer safe. Katsina itself, it's no longer safe. I used to camp displaced families in my house, but it has reached a point where I myself had to leave when bandits came to my house. If we, the locals, did not go to farm, we will not have food. You went to farm, they raid you. If you run out of log, they kill you. The road leading to Dansanne is surrounded by vast farming land. The farms are with no farmers, while discarded fertilizer dot the length and breadth of the area. Jamil Mabai, Trust TV News, Katsina.
And the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, has condemned the 5 million naira fine slammed on Trust Television and other media organizations by the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, for airing documentaries that exposed terrorists and their activities. The CDD, in a statement on Saturday by her director, Idayat Hassan, described the imposition of the fine as obnoxious, oppressive and suppressive, asking the Commission to withdraw it immediately. According to her, the fine is a reprehensible attempt to gag the media and infringes on citizens' rights to free speech and information. Hassan urged the federal government to avoid anything that will threaten the media landscape or infringe on the citizens' right to free speech and the right to know, especially as the country approaches the 2023 general elections. Similarly, more condemnations have trailed the 5 million naira fine imposed on Trust Television by the National Broadcasting Commission for airing a documentary on banditry. The latest is from the Northern Broadcast Media Owners Association, who expressed deep concern over the fine, which it described as punitive. In a statement by its acting chairman, Alhaji Abdullahi Yalwa, the association called on the NBC to rescind the decision, saying the fine was not only arbitrary, but also a gross violation of press freedom and the rule of law. It noted that the documentary in question is globally adjudged to be balanced, fair and ethical, even though the NBC deemed it to have glorified banditry and breached national security. Floods have destroyed several houses and affected the palace of the Mai Potiskum in Potiskum local government area of Yobe State. The monarch has, in the aftermath of the incident, appealed to the federal government to rescue his people from the perennial incident of flooding. Ibrahim Ismail has the report.
This is how the flood submerged Babut area in Potiskum metropolis after heavy rains that lasted for more than 5 hours. In the Babut area alone, more than 10 houses were destroyed by the flood. As a result, many have been rendered homeless. We ran for our lives. The buildings could have collapsed on us. We lost everything. Lasted for about 5 hours tonight. The water flooded into our houses. We tried to stop it, but we couldn't.
So we have a lot of problem at that night. We even face a lot of problem because there is many houses that have already been destroyed because of that raining that has occurred a day before yesterday night. So please, we need a help of government.
Mayor Angwa Ali Muhammad Shua said The recurrent incidents of floods in the area points to the fact that they have been neglected by the relevant authorities. No agency was here to address the problem. We even requested several times to no avail. The Mayor Potiskum said he has made several appeals to the federal government to address the scourge of flooding in the city to no avail.
It causes a lot of damages to buildings, particularly those who have got laterite houses. We submitted elaborate estimate to the federal government requesting for ecological agency to come to Potiskum to state in. As Potiskum is a metropolis, but it has no drainage. Unlike other places, drainage are being constructed, but here in Potiskum, we lack standard drainages that will minimize the water loss during the rainy season.
Potiskum is the largest commercial city in Yobe State and one of the notable business hubs in northeast Nigeria. Many believe that addressing the flood challenge will boost the economic potentials of the city. From Potiskum in Yobe State, Ibrahim Ismail reporting for Trust TV.
One out of the 668 Muslim pilgrims from Taraba State who went to the just concluded pilgrimage in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia has been declared missing. The pilgrim, Hassan Abdullahi Bamuzi, was reported to be missing from the two batches of pilgrims that arrived in the state. Confirming the report on Saturday in Jalingo, the state capital, the public relations officer of the State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Baba Hamza Muri, said the missing female pilgrim has not yet been found. The board said relevant mechanisms have been put in place to locate her and admitted that the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has assured that they will do everything possible to help find her. Meanwhile, a public commentator, Maria Ibrahim, has urged women to be financially independent before venturing into politics. Ibrahim stated this when she appeared on Trust TV program Daily Politics. The public commentator stressed that women should go into politics with the mindset to serve and not to make money, as politics is not a money-making venture. She charged parents to empower their children with the right information in order to prepare them for the realities of life.
Our women need to be empowered. Before I went into politics, I had to make my own money. You don't go into politics to make money. You go into politics to serve.
That's right.
So if you don't have money, how can you operate? You go to the office there, you are expecting the chairman or somebody to bring you some extra code and give you wrong. Then you'll be disrespected. If you look at Nigeria of today and compare it with our own days, parents introduce and expose their children to money. When we were growing, money doesn't mean anything to us. What matters is to get your food on the table. You need soap, it's given to you. And that's
the basics, right?
The basics, but today it's not the same.
You're watching Trust TV News Update. And still to come on the news, why use of backpack is trending. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now another look at our top stories. Gunmen kill 4 policemen, set vehicles ablaze in Imo police station attack. And flood destroyed houses in Potiskum affects Monarch's Palace. And in other news, 9 trucks of fertilizer meant for the distribution to farmers have disappeared in the Nasarawa State Ministry of Agriculture. Commissioner in charge of the ministry, Nuhu Oshafu, who revealed this while appearing before the State House of Assembly Committee on Agriculture, explained that an accountant and store officers have been arrested over alleged involvement in the disappearance of the trucks of fertilizer. The report.
The revelation on the missing 9 trucks of fertilizer by the Nasarawa State Commissioner for Agriculture, Nuhu Oshafu, is coming at a time the product is mostly needed by the farmers as the rainy season has reached a stage that most of the planted crops need fertilizer to flourish. The commissioner said on assumption of office, 12.5 trucks of fertilizers were handed over to him, noting, however, that while he was taking stock of the products, 9 trucks were nowhere to be found.
When we are packing it, we pack only about 4 trucks. About 4 trucks, leaving about 8 or 9 trucks disappeared. So we asked Tom, let him give us why and where are the 8 or 9 trucks. So we queried him, and now revealed that it was his storeman that normally goes there to collect it, and also the accountant who has no business to do with our stores. Sometimes he will order them to bring 1 truck, half trucks, 20 bags, and 200 bags, and so on and so forth. And there was no any record. He didn't give them any written document to put.
Oshafu further told the committee that the state had purchased and distributed 21 trucks of fertilizers at the sum of 238 million naira in the state and appreciated the committee for supporting the ministry. Speaking on the activities of the ministry, Chairman, Assembly Committee on Agriculture, Peter Akwe, warned the ministry against sharp practices in the sales and distribution of fertilizers to farmers across the state. He said many wrongs have happened in the ministry, adding that there is need to work towards ensuring sanity in the system.
There are some areas that needed to be corrected. We need to work seriously to ensure that those things were corrected, because we need to work together in harmony if we want to succeed. Because looking at the presentation, there are a lot of areas that have issues in agric.
Akwe also called on the state government to declare a state of emergency in the agricultural sector in order to address the challenges facing the sector in the state.
Now, one trend that has become part of the daily lives of many Nigerians is the use of a backpack. Although not restricted to any gender, this piece has become common during any kind of outing for some people. In this report, Fatima Musa takes a look at this trend and what it makes it unique. The report.
Originally, backpacks were designed for military purposes, but the first half of the 20th century witnessed rising popularity of the backpacks for recreational uses such as hiking, hunting, and camping. But now, packs have found their way into both primary and tertiary schools, as well as the universities. Many now use it as a fashion accessory, while some use it to convey heavy materials, tools, and gadgets to their place of work. But backpacks come in different sizes, colors, and prices. They were sold for as low as 2,000, 2,500, but they now go for as high as 6,500, 7,500, 17,000, and more. We asked some people why they use backpacks.
It helped me to carry some things which I don't supposed to use my hands, like my laptop and other things that I'm supposed to use.
Okay, the reason why I use my bag is because it helps me to easily convey my working tools and other belongings, and it makes me look smart and while going to work.
Yeah, I use it for both conveying of things and keeping my stores being secured.
Then we went into the market to sample the cost of backpacks and why they are priced that way.
Bag now. We are selling this bag before 4,035, but now we sell this bag like 7,065. Like this bag now before, we sell this bag 6,000. Now it's 9,000.
I have it in different qualities and prices, except the one you want. Like this goes for 7.5, and this it was 6.5, but now it's 7.5.
Well, I got it at the rate of 2,500. That was then. As you can look, it is old. So for now, I can't afford this type of bag now.
Before now, I bought the bag at the rate of 4,500, and it's up to 2 years now. And by now, the price should have skyrocketed. It should be at the rate of 6,065.
Does hauling backpacks on the shoulders and back have any side effects?
Of course, it does. Especially if what I have in the bag is is weighty, like if I have a heavy load, yeah, it has an effect. Sometimes when you drop the backpack and you still feel like it's still there sometimes.
And the only thing is that when I get home, I feel some little pains, but it's nothing because I'm already used to it.
So now the question is, why did the price of backpacks rise? Is it because of value of the naira, or is it because students are not the only ones using it? And just so you know, fashionistas are also part of the many Nigerians that use backpacks. We will surely bring you an update next time.
A balanced diet that contains the required nutrients is essential for proper growth, optimal performance of the human brain, and maintenance of a good state of health. Now, in this report, Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade observes that it has become difficult for Nigerians to achieve a balanced diet given the high cost of protein in the country, especially eggs. And his report is presented from our studios.
A balanced diet contains an adequate proportion of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins that the body needs to function properly. Meat, fish, and eggs are the major sources of proteins in Nigeria. Nutritionists say an egg has all the nutrients that a human body needs. However, the cost of eggs in recent times has reduced the intake of eggs by Nigerians. Most people are aware of recommendations by nutritionists for individuals to eat 1 egg daily, but most people can no longer afford to buy eggs nowadays. In Osogbo, Osun State capital, 1 crate of egg is between 1,650 naira and 2,000 naira depending on the size. Residents of Osogbo said the high cost of eggs has prevented many from including it in their meals. Dupe Ayodele said with the high cost of eggs in recent times, egg intake has reduced drastically.
Normally, before now, you could get eggs for like 300-400 naira. But now, these days, you can barely get them at 100 naira per one. And it has really affected the intake because eggs are good for the body and we can substitute it for meat in our meals.
Sunday Nwabwoku also said the high cost of eggs may escalate malnutrition in the country and appealed to the government to address it.
But because of the cost of egg, many parents cannot afford to give their children 1 egg per day. And we ask, what is the cost? Is it because of the cost of livestock materials? We are appealing to the government that the government should be able to do something to bring down the cost of eggs so that our children will be able to take at least 1 peg. It will be affordable for the parents.
A poultry farmer, Emmanuel Adeyemi, attributed the price increase to the high cost of feed and drugs for the birds.
And when the price of the feed are high, you need something to back it up, which are drugs. And considering the weather that we're having right now, whatever you are using at a point in time must be like they will tell you, some poultry farmers will tell you they're using 1 to 2, that is drugs. They will tell you the quantity of drugs they're using at a point in time was 1 to 2. But if the weather is very harsh now, you need to double it or probably triple it.
The Osun State Nutrition Officer, Rashidat Popula, appealed to housewives to be creative in cooking meals with other alternatives, such as crayfish and dry fish, to make up for egg deficiency.
You know, we all know that all these proteinous foods are being costly now in the market. The fish is costly, eggs too are costly. So the alternative for this is that when we prepare our normal meal, let us look for dried fish and crayfish. All these ones too have protein. This can be blended because of the bones present in the dried fish. When we blend it, we can add it to our diet.
Meanwhile, housewives said the costs of crayfish and dry fish are very high as well.
Now for a look at the foreign scene, where 12 people were killed and 31 injured, 18 of them seriously, when a Polish bus filled with religious pilgrims slipped off a road and crashed near Varadzin in northeastern Croatia early on Saturday. Police, firefighters and medical teams were deployed to the site of the accident that occurred at 5:40 a.m. near Brzezinski Hum in the direction of the capital, Zagreb, the police said. The passengers were adult pilgrims who were traveling to Medjugorje, a Roman Catholic shrine in southern Bosnia. Croatian Interior Minister Davor Broznicki told reporters. An investigation into the cause of the accident was underway. And finally, in sports, Israel Adesanya will defend his UFC middleweight title against former rival Alex Pereira in the headliner of UFC 281 on November 12th in New York. Adesanya announced this on Friday on Sports Center. Pereira holds 2 wins over Adesanya in kickboxing, including one by knockout. ESPN ranks Adesanya tied for 3rd on its pound-for-pound MMA list. And at middleweight, Adesanya is number 1 and Pereira is number 7. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe to watch us live on YouTube and, of course, follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.